out of his mind. He was out over his skis. I don't know that he's going to have many nights where he goes 8 from 10 from downtown, especially when we start talking about postseason basketball. Last night did have that playoff type of feel. It was a playoff atmosphere at the Crypt, and he just got on a heater. I mean, you knew as a Lakers fan it was going to be a long night when he hit that three ball right before halftime from half court. You just knew that it was Golden State's night. They got him going early. They got him going often. Steph Curry, of course, was a dog last night. Not necessarily the greatest shooting night from him, but he was able to get to the free throw line, was really effective, had a couple of circle shots mixed in there, and just made winning plays, played winning basketball throughout the game, but especially down the stretch. So that was a phenomenal game. I mean, if you checked in on the last 2 minutes, it was crazy. I thought Steph Curry hit the dagger when he came off of the Draymond screen with 2 minutes to go, but then LeBron James came back and hit a corner three. Then you had Podziemski come down and hit a three. And then right after that, Austin Reeves comes down and hits a three. Austin Reeves had 3 3-pointers in the last 90 seconds of the game. Like, it was incredible to watch it. But in the end, it was Golden State being able to get some stops, make some steals, and clean the defensive glass. That's what gave them an opportunity to seal that victory. So impressive win by the Golden State Warriors. And now you got to start looking at this Golden State Warriors team as one of those squads that if they get the right matchups, they could potentially go on a deep playoff run. With this lineup on the court, the guys that they started last night, I mean, when they have Moses Moody, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, Podziemski, and Steph Curry in the lineup starting, they are 12-0.
12-0.
12-0. So everybody talks about how great they are with Jimmy Butler and Steph on the court. They're 19-2. They're 12-0 with that starting lineup from last night.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're a problem. They're a problem. And if I'm going to call the Los Angeles Lakers a title contender, if I'm going to say that the Lakers are the only team in the Western Conference that wouldn't surprise me if they're in the NBA Finals, then we got to start seriously considering this Golden State Warriors team as another one of those squads that can get to the chip.
Okay, there's a lot to digest here, Cece, a lot to break down. And before we further discuss the Warriors side of this, quickly, I want to talk to you about the Lakers side, because you did say that the Lakers are a team you would not be surprised if they went to the NBA Finals. And last night when Luka, in his first Lakers-Warriors moment, he hits that finger roll and in the opening minutes, and you're like, okay, is this going to be one of those moments where Luka really exerts himself and you see that side of him that we know that he has? Not so much. 19 points, 6 for 17 shooting in the loss to the Warriors last night. Any concerns with you about the Lakers as we close out the regular season and head into the playoffs?
No, I mean, that was one of the worst shooting nights that Luka's had all season long. And when Luka's not scoring the basketball, it only highlights the deficiencies in his game. There were too many blow-bys from Luka Doncic. He got caught ball watching, guys cutting from the weak side, being able to get easy layups at the rim. Those are things that just can't happen. And so when he's not engaged in scoring the basketball on the offensive end, it really snowballs for him on the defensive side of the court. So that's one of the things that you have to be concerned with. But how many nights is Luka Doncic going to play like he did last night, especially on the offensive end? How many nights are you going to see that from Luka? Luka ain't going to have many 6 to 17 nights from the floor. It's just not going to happen. So I think that as a Lakers fan, I feel comfortable knowing that going into any series, I got the best tandem on the court, and I have a top 3 player in the world in Luka Doncic. So to me, the biggest thing that I think will be different from last night's game versus what we could see in a potential Warriors-Lakers matchup in the postseason is the version of Luka Doncic that you're going to get, and then also the Lakers rebounding. That was the thing that was so surprising. After the first quarter, the Lakers did not rebound the basketball well on either end of the court. First quarter, they were cleaning the glass. Half of the points that they scored in the first quarter came off of offensive rebounds, second chance opportunities. So that's the version of the Lakers that I expected to see. But the Golden State Warriors dialed in a lot more when it came to rebound and being able to get position, those types of things. So I think the Lakers have to be cognizant of the defensive possession ending when they get the rebound and not when the shot goes up. And so I think that's one of those things that's an easy fix for J.J. Redick. And then, of course, Luka Doncic will figure out his way out. As JJ said in the game last night, not worried about Luka. He'll shoot his way out of the slump that he's been in over the last 3 games.
Yeah, part of that slump, 3-point range, 0 for 6 last night for Luka. He snapped a 114-game streak of making at least 1 3, dating back nearly 2 years, since April 7th, 2023. So just to emphasize, an outlier of a performance.
Was that my fault? Because that was my best bet last night. Luka Doncic over 3.5 made threes. Was that my fault? Did I jinx Luka? I may have.
You did that.
Well, he's been having some bad shooting nights, but again, I'd rather him get him out of the way now as opposed to a couple of weeks from now once the playoffs start. So, again, I'm not worried about Luka. Luka's going to be fine. The question is, can the Lakers do a good enough job with their front court, rebounding the basketball, defensive glass, offensive glass? Can they do that well enough to give themselves a chance in every game? And here's the thing. Last night they had a chance. As bad as Luka played, last night they had a chance.
They did.
I mean, it was a 5-point game with 5 minutes to go. They had a shot. It's just that the Golden State Warriors did a great job with shot making, and credit to Podziemski because nobody expected to get that from him in that moment.
So you aren't that concerned about your Lakers as the regular season closes out, CC, but one of our teammates disagrees with you. David Dennis Jr., Anscape senior writer, he was on game night and had, let's just say he took a little umbrage with what you had to say about the Lakers. Here's what he had to say.
I don't understand that. I mean, to say that you would be surprised if OKC made it to the finals as the team that is out here with the largest win difference of any squad that we have ever seen. They may win 70 games. I don't care how old you are. Right. I don't care if your average age is 26. I don't care what it is. The number that matters to me is damn near 70. That's the number that matters to me, and that's what they're winning. Like, you're looking at a team that is as good of a team as we have seen, with a player that's playing as good as we have seen. We haven't seen a team that young win since the Golden State Warriors. I hate to break it to my man Chris Canty. This OKC Thunder team, better than that Golden State Warriors team that won their first championship.
Ooh, that's a strong statement. That is a strong statement. Better than that Golden State Warriors team? I don't know if I can go there, Smalls.
Well, we'll see,
I don't know if I can go. I mean, we'll see. If they finish the drill, then all of a sudden we'll give them that credit. But, again, you got to validate it in the regular season. And to go as far as to say this squad, which has accomplished absolutely nothing, is better than a Golden State Warriors team that had all-timers on it? I mean, Draymond Green, all-time great defensive player. Steph Curry, greatest shooter that God ever made. Andre Iguodala, one Finals MVP. I mean, just to say that they're better than that squad, I don't know, Smalls. I don't know if I can go there.
I am very cognizant of not disrespecting the Thunder when we prognosticate how we think these NBA playoffs are going to play out, because they have been so good. They are such a complete team, and I don't want to dismiss them. But when you look at some of these teams in the West, you have to factor in the been there, done that. You have to factor in that muscle memory, that championship DNA, and that leads us back to the Warriors, CC. So the Lakers are 1 game up on the Warriors. They're sitting there with that number 5 spot, but they hold the tiebreaker because they won the season series 3-1. LA, by the way, a half game behind number 3 Denver. The Nuggets hold that tiebreaker. Last night, as you mentioned, felt like a playoff atmosphere. We're getting close to that time. When you look at this Warriors team, after a performance like that last night, knowing what we know about Steph and Dre and Steve Kerr and, of course, playoff Jimmy, do you really think this Warriors team can contend for a championship?
I absolutely do. I mean, the frontline size concerns me a little bit, especially in the Western Conference when you got some bigs that you got to contend with, like you got Nikola Jokic. I mean, you got Şengün, you got the OKC Thunder with those bigs inside with Hartenstein and Chet. So that does concern me in terms of how they're going to be able to manage when it comes to, the bigger front courts in the conference. But it's the same problem that the Lakers have too. And I will always lean on greatness. And there is a certain level of greatness that you always assign to Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler this time of year. And that's why I don't think that there's a team that you can sleep on. Like this is a team that has championship DNA. These are players that understand what the moment is like and aren't afraid of making the plays, aren't afraid of having the ball in their hands. So, yeah, I think that when we look at the Western Conference, you got to have a healthy amount of respect for the Lakers and for the Golden State Warriors.
I'm never going to dismiss them. I'm never going to dismiss Steph Curry specifically. And I think about Jimmy Butler. We know how he turns on the Jets in the postseason. He's got a little chip on his shoulder, too, after the way everything went down with Miami. I would absolutely not be surprised if we saw the Golden State Warriors go on a complete tear in the playoffs.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised too. But again, everything in the Western Conference is so matchup dependent.
Yeah.
I think it all comes down to what teams play who in the first couple of rounds of the postseason. That's going to determine how the West is won. That's going to determine who gets to the NBA Finals out of that conference. But right now, again, Lakers, Warriors, 4-5 matchup. I don't think the standings are going to end that way. I think both of those teams are going to continue to jostle for, seeding. And there is an opportunity, if things break right, for the Golden State Warriors to be a top 3 team in the Western Conference. And to think that before the Jimmy Butler trade, once upon a time, this Warriors team was 11th in the Western Conference standings.
Unreal.
They could end up finishing 3rd in the West.
And that's why you can't count them out.
That's why you can't count them out. But that shows you how consequential that Jimmy Butler trade was.
Mm-hmm. And for your sake, CC, I hope it's not the Lakers' first round matchup. It would be very entertaining, but for your sake, I hope it's not.
I feel like we need to wait on that one a little bit, right? Like, let this thing, I don't want that out the gates. I mean, It will be a tremendous series, but I want to wait. I want to let it build. I want to let this thing simmer a little bit before we get to another LeBron, Steph Curry battle in the postseason.
I want a little bit more on the line.
Yeah,
I want
exactly.
a little bit more juice.
Just a little bit of more season.
He's Chris Candy. I'm Michelle Smallman. Evan Cohen is out today. The Hoodies chair is empty for the next 3+ hours. And coming up next here on Unsportsmanlike, one NBA star heard the league's